Joining me now, Ken Konkin, President and CEO at Tudor Gold. Great to see you again.
Good to see you again, Mark, always.
Yeah, so you've got the Treaty Creek project in BC. It's called the Gold Storm deposit. You're sitting on more than 30 million ounces measured and inferred. Is that measured and indicated or measured and inferred?
If you just go back to the, just everybody goes indicated now just because of the measured aspect, what's measured, what's indicated. But so we just go by 27.9 indicated with an inferred of 6 million inferred of a higher grade.
There you go.
So you're well past that 30 if you ever want to combine. We don't, but people do.
Okay. And so, amazingly, you say that some people in the market, they don't even know the story, they don't get it. Why is that?
Yeah, we talk to people where we travel and we kind of use an analog like, for example, Bruce Jack Lake Valley Kings, and they don't even know that one. So there's a real disconnect here. I don't get it. It's a serious issue that we come across, but with programs like yourself coming out there, I think we got to get the story out because it is unfolding. It's still an open deposit. It's still ongoing, and we do have rejuvenated exploration on the horizon here. So get into that.
Yeah, so you've been busy drilling, and you've got 4 high-grade structures, and you call it the Supercell 1 zone, correct? Can you expand on that?
Correct. When we actually designed the program in 2023, people thought we were madmen going for more ounces. We didn't need the ounces, and that wasn't the purpose. The reality is we suspected we had a high-grade system lurking at midway down. So what we did is we designed a program to not only push out the high-grade lobes of our best domain in the bulk tonnage target of the supercell area, but it was to basically define not only the copper domain that has 3 billion pounds of copper. It's a no slouch with respect to 0.31% copper, 0.9% gram gold. So all in, it was a plan to expand not only those lobes to the higher grades, but test the theory. Do we really have a supercell lurking? And I'll just explain that terminology because I kind of invented this one. Trying to convey what we've got to purchasers or potential investors, it's like a nebula that's expanding. And if you have something that's a late stage, high energy, think of it as a nebula in the storm with sheets of lightning going off. When we targeted supercell systems, we didn't think we'd have to rename it. We had to rename it Supercell 1C because we hit A, B, C, and one more underneath, D. We hit 4. We didn't know it would happen because we changed the parameter of the way we drill. We changed the direction of drilling. We came back at it at a normal angle. So there's the discovery.
All right.
So all this time we're drilling along parallel, missing out.
I see. Now, you're on track for a PEA in Q2. Obviously, you're hoping for a robust economics. That's on track, and what can we expect?
Well, this is the thing of angst for us. We're discussing back and forth within the directors of what to do with that because just describing that supercell system, we've got to include the supercell. You can't do a PEA without let's call it a mine within a mine, because the target of the supercells is coming back to be something like reverse engineering this, like 1,500 tons a day. Let's say 10 grams over 10 meters. So now you've got something that's going to be potentially multi-million ounces you're looking at to drill up. And we decided that we've got to go underground to do it. So do we do the PEA twice? Do we do it now, waste $500,000 to $800,000 of shareholders' money and just put out a PEA only on the the copper domain of CS600? Or do we just get through, include the high grade, which I think is going to be a smarter way to go, because that catalyst, we believe, the high grade, will definitely put this way over the edge. I think it'll make it a much more exciting number. And keep in mind, let's go back on history. We actually put out initial resource when I warned that we have you come close to the center of mass. Everybody still believes that this system is a really low-grade system, like 0.74. That was the initial mineral resource. Mineral resource estimate was 0.74 of 19.41 million ounces. Now we're at 1.19 grams per ton equivalent at 27.9 million ounces gold equivalent with 3 billion pounds of copper. And going forward with that, it's almost doubled the initial 0.74 because you can take that cutoff, which was initially at 0.3. We now use a 0.7 on the pit, and underground we go 0.75. That's over what for the old initial grade. Now, had we just waited on that and come out with something over a gram, I think it would have been a different story. So we've done 3 mineral resource estimates in 4 years. Amazing how this thing has transformed, and we've always increased that treadmill by increasing the cutoffs. We've constrained the model tighter. We've dropped off the lower ounces. We've introduced the 2-3 gram material. So this deposit, to me, is what it needs to be. So we can go after much higher grades within this and really shrink her down. You can get down to a 1 gram cutoff and probably still have 16 million ounces of this thing.
And Ken, lastly here, you've established that investors seem to be underappreciating the story, but you think that a tipping point is near. How come?
Of course, it comes down to a few factors. I think obviously timing in the markets where we were having difficulties with higher interest rates, people were suffering after post-COVID. All those reasons are probably valid reasons, but moreover, I don't think I see as much hope as I see now. It may be change of governments, the ceasefire in Gaza. All this is pointing back to optimism. A lot more optimism in the industry is needed, and especially at this sector. Our sector was absolutely decimated. So we weathered a pretty harsh storm here. We've got an excellent product going forward, so I think we're going to do okay in 2025.
All right, very good. Thank you, Ken.
Great to see you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Ken Konkin, the president and CEO at Tudor Gold.